And we are recording. So hello everyone, happy Monday. So I am going to leave the chat open if anyone has any questions. I got them from Target, by the way. So tonight's training is going to be a little bit different. I know a lot of times, we come into this business and we come from other companies, and maybe you were taught to cold message, maybe you were taught to mass ad and message and whatever. So I know me personally, I started with a company that taught me to mass cold message. Honestly, if you don't know my story, that is literally how I found this business. It was funny because I was actually voicing a potential about an hour ago before I got on this call. And, she was like, what got you into this industry? How did you find this? And it kind of like relit a light bulb in my head, because I was like, dang, like I found this business opportunity because I cold messaged Lindsay, right? So I cold messaged her, I asked her to join my business, and she came, yep, Xandra's raising her hand. I asked her to join my business because of the fact that, I was very vigilant, about who I was messaging, right? A lot of times back then, I was getting messages from girls in my own company, and it just added on to how spammy that can be, right? And so I was real turned off by it. And I remember Lindsay saying to me like, oh, I'm with this business, we don't cold message, blah, blah, blah. And immediately I wanted to know about that. And let me just preface this whole training with, I have literally no notes. I was like dead tired earlier, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to speak from the heart, because this is something that I truly, especially if you guys don't know my story, I have transitioned through a few different companies. I started with Lavelle, I tried out the waters, I tested different things, and ultimately I came home because we know this, nothing compares, right? We have an amazing opportunity on our hands, but even more so, the way we go about training our new babes is insane. Like, we do so many things that other companies overlook, and they just go straight to the cold messaging. So I want to kind of talk about tonight, the difference between a cold message and genuinely talking to someone or bringing this opportunity up in conversation. Because I feel like, a lot of us come from other companies, maybe you've never done this before, but we hear this word cold message, and almost immediately it's like, cold message, like that's evil. Like, I don't want to do that. But we obviously know that there's other companies out there who are constantly cold messaging. We know what company someone might be from. They don't even have to say it. Like, regardless of what company it is, I know I get cold messages all the time from different companies, different girls in different companies, that I can literally pinpoint what company they're with by what they're saying, right? And I know that a lot of you guys might have the same thing. So the reason I say that, because I know that with my downline, a lot of the times it's not the IPAs that are an issue. It's not, doing the interactions. It's how do I genuinely bring this business up, right? A lot of times people are like, well, I don't want to just like say something about the business, or maybe it's the opposite end of the spectrum where you're just like, I'm not going to say anything about the business because I don't want it to be a cold message. So I wanted to touch on that because, guys, if you are not talking about this business because you think you saying anything about it is a cold message, I want to really take the word cold message and dissect it and get you to realize that, like, you can talk to people about this business. You can bring up the opportunity first in conversation, but it's the way that you go about it and who you're talking to and how genuine it is, right? A lot of times, if you've been on my trainings, I talk all the time about bringing value, being who you are, sharing what you love, right? And for instance, yes, Jackie. What I had when I first started building my business, when I came back, if you guys don't know, my 1 year just passed with Lavelle, so I'm back for a year, everyone. But when I first started, I was starting to rebuild that clientele. I was starting to rebuild my team. And I had a girl who I had known, through sports, college, whatever, on my feed. And I think at one point in time, she was a customer for me, but she never actually purchased the whole 3-step system. I think it was just like patches and maybe capsules. And I bring this up because the only reason that my girl Ashley Kahn is a 4K on my team right now is because I saw her Facebook status that said, these Sally Mae loans, if you guys know what that is, it's like a loan service, are kicking my butt. Like her status was literally basically her hopping onto Facebook and complaining about her student loans, which, hello, if you know me, I'm a college student, I have student loans, like they suck. And anyone in here who has had college loans, we know that the interest payments are ass. We know that the payments are hard to come up with, especially if you are not working a job, you know, that maybe you got your degree for, maybe you didn't get your degree. You know, me personally, I am going into like my 7th year of college. Funny enough, I started the first 3.5 years of my college career, I was doing a completely different major. I switched as a senior. So now I'm 23 years old and I'm like basically just scratching the surface of a new major, and I've been in school. So I know what that's like, right? Me internally, I took what she said on that post, I internalized it and found the points where I was like, damn, I use Sally Mae. I know how bad those payments suck. You know, I didn't have this business, what was going to be paying that? Guys, for the first time in my life, and can we get like a hallelujah or something? Because your girl has set up her student loan payments on auto pay because of this business, right? So that just literally a light bulb went off over my head. I said, I have to share this business with her. But obviously, it comes to the point where you might come to this block in the road where you're like, well, I don't want to message her and I don't want to comment on her page and come off as I'm spammy. But here's the thing, guys. If somebody on social is asking in a status, in a poll, in a story, if they're asking for an opportunity, or they are, you know, dealing with something that you can genuinely relate to as a struggle, whether that be finances, whether it be support system, you know, a group of friends, think about what we have on our hands for a second and realize that you are doing not only yourself, but that person a disservice by not sharing what you have your hands on. And I want to kind of dissect that word cold message real quick, which I literally, like I said, I didn't take notes. I'm talking from the heart because this is something that I have genuinely dealt with. I've done the cold messaging. I've done not cold messaging. I've done, you know, whatever they call intentional reach outs in other companies. Like I've done everything there is to do. And I will tell you right now, I have never built a $500,000 business, almost, we will be by the end of this month, a $500,000 business by using cold messaging. That's not what it's about, right? So when I searched it on Google, I wanted to bring up an official definition for you guys. So cold messaging is messaging someone about your company, product, party, or opportunity as the very first thing you say in your message. Now, I'm going to add a little bit more to that, right? You have a cold market and you have a warm market in business. Your warm market is your friends, the people you know and see all the time, your family members, the people you are like this with, who you would go to on your oh shit list. That is your warm market. Those are people you know, they trust you, they, you know, whatever, they know about you. That's your warm market. Those are the people you would go to for support, right? Your cold market, on the other hand, your cold market is people you don't know, you never talk to a day in your life. That is people that it's two completely different markets, right? You could have someone you know and love who comes to you and says, hey, I've been seeing what you're posting on Facebook, you know, give me some information about it. That person, if you know, you love them, you talk to them, they support you as a human being, that's your warm market. But your cold market is people you don't know. It's cold. The relationship is cold, right? You don't know them. You don't talk to them. You know, they don't know your deepest, darkest secrets. And that is someone who, you know, say if you were cold messaging, let's flip the script and say we were, you know, if you were doing that to someone in your warm market, they would be like, oh, hey, thanks so-and-so for, you know, the opportunity. Like, I'll let you know. But your cold market, guys, a lot of times in this industry, people cold message people to their cold market that they don't know. And half the time they don't follow them. They don't know what's on their page. Half the time the first message is, oh, hey, I love your page. Really? Because if you looked at my page, you would have seen that I'm with a business. So your cold market and your warm market are two different things, but I bring that up because cold messaging means you are messaging somebody first with no, like, you know, I don't know, you didn't ask about this, you didn't put a post up asking for a recommendation. It is literally somebody you don't know messaging you first, basically asking for a sale, right? We don't do that. So I want to dissect that from the fact that if you have somebody in your following that you are actively building a network with, right? Say you have somebody on your feed, guys, that you're like, damn, she is on my dream team. She would so rock this business. Like, I wish I could just shake her, right? You have someone like that. Guys, if you've been interacting with her and you've been following her and you guys exchange comments that have nothing to do with business and she sees what you do, it is not a cold message to be talking to her genuinely and say, hey, by the way, like, I know this might be, you know, a little out there. I don't normally message people. I don't cold message, but did you ever have any like interest in this, or would you be willing to hear about it? Like, I really think that you would be amazing at this, right? Genuinely bringing that up. And I know that there's a very thin line and people might be like, oh my God, like that's a cold message. No, it's not. It is intentional. It's genuine. You have started to build a relationship with that person outside of the business, right? I have people who I follow on Instagram, and if you've been watching my trainings, I talk about all the time how I find those people. Not only is it my fives, but it's the area that I live in, the way that I go about finding them on social. Guys, I know that I live next door to a girl that I follow on Instagram, like completely different building. I know she just had her bachelorette party. We talk all the time about nutrition. Like, I have created a relationship with people in social media to the point where I've gotten to the point where if I know this person well enough to be talking to them multiple times a week on social, or I'm responding their stories and they're responding to mine, like, for you to go out of your way and say, hey, you know, I know we've been talking for a while and like, I don't want to come off like spammy. I don't want to, you know, like, I'm not doing this for me. And you share that with them and you say, I really think you could kill this, or like, I really think that we would be bond together. Like, genuine. It's a genuine conversation. I know a lot of us probably have people in our warm market, you know, maybe your best friend, maybe you've talked to your best friend 100 times about this and you're like, girl, you need to get in on this. Like, she sees how passionate you are. She sees you on the calls doing your thing. You would have no problem being like, sis, you don't know what you're missing over here. Why? Because she's in your warm market. But if you start to look at your potentials on social media as, I am literally creating a relationship with this person, to know them as a person and to bring value to their life and to start a relationship with them, right? We talk about all the time how you can create genuine relationships, whether it be interactions, you know, asking them about their favorite things, you know, finding your common topics. When you have found people like that, no, I am not saying message them tomorrow morning and say, hey girl, like, you should do this business with me. I mean, if you're on that BFF type level and you've talked about it, or maybe she's asked you some questions, don't be afraid to open up. And so that's gonna lead me into my next point, which I'm already glistening, holy Lord. But my next point is, if somebody that, you know, you have in this space, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, any social media platform, if you have somebody in that space that you've created a relationship with and they ask you a question about this business, do not freeze up and immediately go into like word vomit. Oh my God, I gotta tell you everything. No. If somebody asks you a question, guys, answer what's asked and don't expect anything more than that. And the reason I say that is because somebody coming to you and asking you a question and you wanting to immediately turn into a robot and like go into this whole thing, that one is gonna take away from your credibility. Two, it's gonna make them feel like they're being sold to. And three, it's uncomfortable. And you're probably going to be texting your mentor, like, how do I not word vomit on them? And the way you do that is by simply taking that conversation and saying, okay, she asked me this question. I'm literally going to answer that question, give her the direct answer. And then I'm going to give her a point of somehow of how that thing, maybe she asked, for example, since we're talking about cold messaging, I had a girl who's now on my downline, Victoria Nelson. She came from another company, and, you know, before she joined me, 3 months before that, she was literally in my inbox saying, how do you not cold message? Guys, that doesn't mean I have to go in my phone and be like, you know, okay, like, I'm trying to recruit you now, like, turn on the robot. Like, no, I answered her question and I genuinely told her, you know, oh, we teach a different, you know, style of training. You know, we do attraction marketing. We teach you how to brand yourself. So it's not just, you know, jumping in people's inboxes and just playing the probability game, right? I answered her question. I didn't force her. I didn't follow up with her 300 times a week. You know, I wasn't in her inbox the next day saying, hey, have you thought about it? Did you want to do this? Like, no, you are not a robot. It is not a cold message to respond to someone's question, or if someone's making a post and asking for an opportunity or saying, oh my God, these bills are killing me. Guys, people don't complain on social media not to be seen. I'm sorry. I used to do it all the time. As a kid in high school, I used to tweet my freaking emotions all the time just so my boyfriend would see it, okay? I know how social media works, and I see the heads nodding and the smiles because we are women, right? If we put something out, most of us are women, at least. If you're a man, you might have this too. But for me, if I want to be seen, and I feel like something's bothering me or I'm going through a struggle, I'm going to put that in, say, in this mind frame, not now, obviously, but if I'm venting on social media, it's most likely for someone to listen, right? That's how humans work. If we complain, we want someone to agree with us. It's why toxicity grows really fast. Misery loves company, right? So if someone is complaining about not having an opportunity or not having money or they need something, and you have that something that you genuinely believe in and you know that this is going to be the be all end all, no plan B, I'm making this work. If that's what your mindset and your goal is, and you see someone who's looking for that, it is not a cold message to say, hey, literally guys, like I said, I don't have notes, so I'm all over the place. So if you're not following this, there's a replay. But like I said in the beginning of this, my girl Ashley, she literally wrote on her status that she was sick of her loan payments and, oh my God, Sally made this, Sally made that. And you know what I commented on her post? Work with me, LOL. And I put a laughing face. Why? Because I was serious in the fact of, hey girl, I got an opportunity over here, but I'm not going to jump down your throat and say, oh my God, you need to do this. This is going to be the best thing ever for you. No, I simply was like, hey, I'm here. Check out my page if you want. She knew who I was. I went to college with her. We weren't best of friends, but now she's one of my best friends and one of my best workers on my team. Not workers, but one of the best people that I have partnered with, one of the hardest workers that I have on this team. And I would have missed out on that if I didn't get over my shit and say, oh my God, I can't share this with her because it's a cold message. Like, I want you guys to get out of that mindset of I can't say anything to anyone unless they come to me, because that's not how business works. Serena, I'm so glad that you said that, because I honestly am all over it. Like, I literally was in the car getting in and out, and I was like, I don't have notes and there's 30 minutes, but like, you know what? I'm gonna give it to these girls straight because y'all know me. But when it comes down to it, like, guys, what we have on our hands is so huge. Like, don't hide behind a wall of I can't cold message, so I'm not gonna tell you. Like, cold messaging is when you go do the, hey girl, you should work in my business and you don't leave and follow me. Like, no, that's not going to create a genuine relationship. And honestly, guys, like I said, I've been in businesses where I did that. I've been in businesses where I had shortcuts in my phone so I didn't have to retype the dang message over and over again. I've done it. And with consistency and a lot of getting shut down, like, I'm not going to say it's completely ineffective, but it's not what I like to do. I like to build genuine relationships. And if someone's asking me a question, I'm going to answer it to them the same way I would if someone was on my team already, or if somebody is, complaining about something, or they're like, dang, like my debt is coming out of my back pockets. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And it's like, girl, I was in that position too. Like, I know, this might not be something you're necessarily interested in, but if you're, willing to learn, like, I have an opportunity I could share with you, and you don't even have to go that professional with it. You could just be like, oh, I saw your post. Like, if you're ever looking, to get into a community with women, I know you don't have, a big support system, but, we have something here you might be interested in. Like, genuinely, it's not about, yes, Christina, sorry, I'm such a scroll rate. It's not about I can't do this because it's a cold message. You're doing yourself a disservice, guys. If I'd sit here and said that I've never like brought the business up first or like asked someone if they've ever heard of Lavelle before, like, I'd be lying. But the reason that I do that is because I know that person enough in that online space that I interacted with them enough. I showed up daily enough and did my IPAs, and I've cultivated relationships. Guys, I have so many people on Instagram that, like, I don't know them in real life, or I've never even been to their state, but like I check up with them every day, right? Because I'm attracted to their page. I like what they're posting. Guys, I have people in other companies that I go watch their stories because I love them as a person, right? You have people in other companies watching you, whether you know it or not. And getting on your stories and being yourself, waking up and sharing your products, posting an IGTV that has nothing to do with the business and sharing your own personal, like, aura, style, whatever, that's gonna be what pulls people into your circle of trust, guys. And your circle of trust turns into your warm market when you really start to know who they are. And at that point, let me tell you, this is why, if you were not on my last training that I talked about Bumble BFF, guys, why do you think that is so effective? Because everybody on that app is not looking for a business. I mean, yes, there's going to be people on there who are trying to market their hair care or the happy pills, whatever. There's people on there that will literally put in their bio, like partnered with, like looking for women. But majority of those people in that space on Bumble BFF are people looking to make genuine connections. And guys, if it's meant to be, it'll happen. They'll ask you, or something will prompt you to bring it up naturally. Doesn't have to be jumping in their inbox right away. You know how many girls that are in LA that I've connected with through Bumble BFF that I've never met or never hung out with before, but they follow me on Instagram simply because we want to connect. And then 2 days later, 2 weeks later, 2 months later, they're like, girl, I've been watching you. What do you do? Guys, if you think about it, everything that we do every single day is for the sole purpose, and again, if you were on my trainings, the sole purpose of this business, network marketing in general, sales in general, if you are truly doing it to serve other people, like, it's not about sealing the deal, signing the promoter, getting the 3-step in. It's about educating as many people as you can about what you have your hands on so they can make that decision to jump into this if that's what they want. Because let me tell you right now, I was the #1 enroller for June 2019 out of thousands of people in my last company before I came back home. Do you think that like literally any more than 3 of those people were working? Why? Because I cold messaged them, they thought it was cool, they jumped in, they spent their money, and that was it. At the end of the day, when you work a business like that, and you are just going for the sale, getting them in, get the number, get the tracker, and you're not focusing on the message that you're sharing or the, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry, I'm like trying not to read the comments, but you know, it's literally you are attracting people to share this business with them. And when they make that decision on their own to come to you or ask you the question or confide in you and say, you know, I'm really like, I need something to change in my life. I'm telling you right now that person, if they're saying that to you, it's because it's in your court now. That's your chance to say, you know what? I'm a human and this really changed my life. This really impacted me in X, Y, and Z way. This gave me a community. This gave me my best friends. Guys, I joke with Connor all the time because like, you know, we're pretty young and we like have the world by the cojones, you know? So I'm like, oh, like where could we move next? And I joke all the time and I'm like, well, I got my besties in Florida. Like, this business has given me a family, an outlet, a place to inspire other people. And you know how many women out there would kill for what we have? But simply, some of them do not know. Like, when I joined this business in 2018 for the first time, that was when the big hair care brand was coming out and really coming to light in this industry. And I didn't even know it existed, guys. I had no idea. And it's I want to say that company, if y'all know what I'm talking about, it's only about 3 years younger than us. Like, what we have, so many people do not know about it. Yes, so many people do. But you guys are doing yourself a disservice if you're sitting back and saying, I'm just waiting for all these people to come to me because I did my IPAs today. If you think that's working, like, not even tough love. Again, I love you guys, so I'm going to be that little bitch. Sorry, we're recording. But no, like, no. That's not going to build a business, right? You have to be willing to do what makes you uncomfortable. And if that starts with detaching the word cold message from genuinely talking about what you have your hands on to somebody, that's where you need to start. And I promise you guys, once you flip the script and realize that, like, you do not have to freaking, you know, be annoying and spammy and this and that just to get your message out. There's so many other ways that we can bring value to our audience and share this business by simply just getting to know them and not being afraid to say, hey, you know, no pressure, but like, we should chat about this. Like, I really resonate with what you're sharing, or I was in that same exact position before I got into this. And like, I know this might be kind of scary to you, but if you're open, like, I'd love to share with you how this helped me. Like, whenever I get new potentials in my phone, guys, I used to be so afraid of voice messaging. Like, I was like, oh my God, like, what if I screw up? Great, they know I'm human now, right? If I screw up. every single time I talk to a potential, I start off my voice message with like, almost like, it's a real chuckle, but like I do it because I'm laughing at myself and I'm like, sorry guys, like, thanks so much. Like, sorry, this is way easier for me. Like this and this and this is going on right now. So I just, didn't want to waste your time. I wanted to get to the point. I share the fact that I'm busy. Number one, why? Because people look up to people who are busy. People who are important are busy. People who run successful businesses are busy. People who mentor hundreds of other people are busy. Yep, Eric Worre, go pro. Like Xander said, if you guys have not read the 7 Steps to Becoming a Network Marketing Professional by Eric Worre, it will change your life. And if you're that person that's like, I'm not going to read a book, get it on Audible, because it's like going to change your life, especially if you want to be in this industry, whether it be full-time or making a full-time income on, the side or whatever. But that book, honestly, a lot of the things that I read in that book, they changed the way that I work my business. And I do think in that book somewhere he talks about how when he first started, like he would cold message and stuff like that. But a lot of us have already done it, right? We've done the cold messaging. If you haven't, congrats, you skipped out on the scariness. But at the end of the day, what it comes down to is the work is not the IPAs. And I sound like a broken record because I say this all the time, but the work is not IPAs. The work is literally informing your potentials. Because if you're not having conversations day to day, if you're not talking to new people or sharing this business, you are not doing your job. And I don't want to sound like like, oh, go check yourself, but that is literally what's going to build the business. That's the meat and potatoes of your volume, is having conversations and informing people of what you have your hands on. So honestly, that is pretty much the point of what I wanted to get out tonight, because I just really feel like so many of us, when we come into this, or maybe you're 6 months in, you're like, wow, like my business isn't booming. I only have like 2 people or just 1 person, or maybe your team is not working at all right now. Then I want you guys to seriously take a step back and say, have I been doing my due diligence as somebody in this business who wants to go 12K, 40K, 80K? Am I doing the work? Am I showing up? Am I having conversations? Because if you're not having conversations, like, you're just playing on Instagram at that point. And I'm not saying like, oh, you have to like be having a conversation about the business every 5 seconds, but again, don't miss out on an opportunity to bring light to someone's life. Do not miss out on an opportunity to answer someone's question and let them ponder it. Because guess what? Just like Victoria Nelson came to me a couple months ago and asked me how I don't cold message, guess what? That girl went and found my YouTube and started watching my trainings. Can I tell you that I have at least 5 girls who are not with me in this business who religiously watch my trainings on YouTube? Some people would sit back and say, oh, I gotta protect my YouTube videos so no one else can find them. No. You're here in this business, but you're not. That doesn't mean you can't inspire someone else or share what you have with other people, right? And guess what? 9 times out of 10, those people find you for who you are. They find your YouTube, they find your trainings, they talk to you, ask you a question. If you treat them like somebody already in your downline, guys, they're going to come to you because they trust you. Because you just showed them that you're willing to share information with them as a person, and not, oh, can't tell you, can't train you unless you join me. That's not how it works. And I know that's something that I had to go through in my leadership, because I used to get so annoyed when people, and I'll call myself my bullshit. When I first hit 12K in 2018, I used to get so pissed. Lindsay will tell you, my blood would boil when I would see people taking inspiration from my content, or they screenshot my content, or they rewrote my post. Guys, those people are doing it because they're inspired by you. Because what you have is pure talent, and they want to emulate that, and they want to build it for themselves, and they want to put their spin on it. But then what I grew through and learned is that at the end of the day, if someone's asking you a question or looking for an opportunity, or they want to know how you do something, you don't have to sit back and be like, oh, well, I'm 6-figure mentor, like I don't got to tell you, pay me. No. What you have on your hands is literally gold, and it's going to light up so many people's lives if you allow it to. But if you don't have those conversations and you don't get over the bullshit of, oh my God, I don't want a cold message, guys, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter how each one of us runs our business, right? As long as we're showing up, doing what we need to do, and working towards that goal every day, what you do is for you. I'm not sitting here telling you, oh, if you want a cold message, like, don't do that. Like, if you want to do that, That's on you. That's not how I do it. But at the end of the day, it's all about how you go about it, how you're talking about it, what you're talking about, how are you answering their questions. Because I promise you, the outcome of jumping in someone's inbox and saying, hey girl, you should join me, yet I don't even follow you, your page is so pretty. The difference between that and someone saying, hey, you know, we followed each other for a while, I know this is like, you know, we haven't talked much, or I know you asked me a question before, but like, if you were interested in this, like, I genuinely would be so down to working with you. Like, I would love to do this with you. It's about intent, being genuine. Because the second that you are disingenuous, is that a word? Any English teachers on here? I don't know. But the second you are, is that a word? I don't know. But I'm good. The second you realize that, like, it's not about you, and if you're sitting there and you're like, oh my God, I can't tell them because it's going to be a cold message. I want you to be like, oh, Stina said do it, and do it. Because the second you get uncomfortable and you answer their question and you tell them about it, or say, hey, feel free to text me. Like, I'd love to fill you in or get you in a chat with my mentor. It's not a cold message, guys. It's answering a question. It's sharing what you have on your hands. And having a servant's heart is one of the biggest things that we pride ourselves on within this business. I used to be the person that didn't have money, my bank account was always in the negative, and I was constantly thinking about the sale. It was time for packs, they wanted to know how to get started, and I would freeze up, my palms would get sweaty, and I'm like, they're gonna say yes. No, it's not your business if they say yes or no. It's your business to share with them what you have on your hands and not be afraid to give them the answers that they're looking for, or be that person to step out of your comfort zone and say, hey, you know, if you're willing, I'd love to talk to you about this. But again, it's not the number one thing you're jumping in their inbox to say, right? It's a conversation. Okay, so we have a question. What if they never ask about it, but you know they're with a company they pay to run every month? So what I would do in this instance, like I said, I have 5 people right now that are in the same company that I believe. Thank you, Mindy. I have people that I talk to constantly that are in the company I first started with. The hey girl, you're so pretty, be my product tester. I was with that company. I did that. I probably still have cold messages and scripts in my phone somewhere. The thing is, if you're showing up every single day and you are sharing on your stories the opportunity, you're talking about the things that we have versus other companies don't, right? We don't have cold messaging, we don't have website fees, we get free products, we have the auto plan at the 2nd rank versus the 7th or the top. If you are doing your part in sharing that every day and you talk to them every single day, then I'd say at that point, either feel it out and see, okay, are they happy where they're at? Because some people are completely fine with being with a company that they have to spend money with. Some people don't care that they have to cold message, especially if they've been there for a while. But my best advice to you is at that point, the ball is in their court. If you are doing your job and showing up in every single day, posting what you need to post, and you know, doing the IPAs, having conversations, that person is going to be able to see on your social how serious you are about what you do and what this business has to offer. Now, I wouldn't go in her inbox because she's with another company and I wouldn't say, hey, like, let me tell you about this, but ask them a question about their business in conversation. You know, if you're talking about your shoes and she replies to your story and you're just talking like girlfriends, you should say, oh my God, like, how are you? Like, I'm, you know, business is, you know, I'm doing business. Talk about what you're doing in your business. Talk about what you're excited for. Like, what's happening in business, right? We always have something happening here, whether it's a promotion, $600,000 car giveaway, free credits. Like, there's something going on, whether it be a call, anything. If you are doing your part in sharing that, your audience is going to see it. And the reason that this is a little bit different is because if she's in another company and you're talking to her daily, and she's not bringing up the fact that you're with another company, she's probably happy where she is. That's how I would take it. But I guess your best bet in trying to feel that situation out would be to talk about your business and you know, ask her, oh, how's business going? Like, we're doing this, I'm doing this, I'm really excited for this. One of the biggest tips that I have in conversations is always leave it off with a question. because that's gonna take away the awkward silence, the I don't know what to say next. Because if you are ending off with a question, that means she's gonna respond to that question, and most likely that's gonna give you either another point to work off of, or it's gonna just continue the conversation. So I would definitely, just kind of in convo, bring up what you're doing, what you're excited about, share with her your passion behind your business and what you're doing. And that's usually going to open up the dialogue for her to say, oh, well, I'm loving my business, or dang girl, that sounds cool. Like, I wish we did stuff here. And then you could say, well, how long have you been with your company? Like, how do you like it? Like, get genuine, guys. Ask questions, get to know them, right? But I don't want the focus to be, okay, well, you're with a company that charges you every month, so like you have to be here. Because at the end of the day, I pay for crap I don't need all the time. I mean, people are going to stay where they want to be. And, I talk about this on another call too. Like, I have a customer of mine who is with another company who actively posts her marketing posts with our white label on her wrist. And she buys from me every month. She has 3 steps. She has rest. She's got balance goals. She's got everything. And she literally came to me the other day and she wrote me this long message about, I know I'm not on your team. I know I'm not in your company, but I really love how you do things. Guys, I trained her. I gave her 5 seconds of my time. She went to my YouTube, and guess what? What did that just solidify for her? That I care about her as a human, and next time that she goes to her business and her upline treats her like crap or like a dollar sign, she's gonna know that she has a home here, right? With products she loves. And she even voiced that to me in text message and said, I really love Thrive and I want to join you, but right now I just love the people that I'm with. So whatever. And I get that because I was in that place. Ask Lindsay. I freaking bawled my eyes out for 2 hours when I joined her the first day because my uplines were so mean to me on Zoom before I jumped into this in 2018. People are going to gravitate towards the ones who serve and show love. All right, so I'm going to answer the next question. Sorry, that was a lot. How do you respond to people that cold message you from other companies? Okay, this is awesome because I love this. This is my jam. This is how I get a lot of my promoters to switch over if they're in another company, since we've been talking about that. Now, let me just preface this question with, you never want to just assume someone is not happy where they are, right? I don't want to ever be like, oh, well, we're better, because that's not I don't want to be friends with that girl, right? You want to, again, be nice. Don't block people. Don't be assholes to them. Don't respond to them and be snooty. You want to serve with love, right? That's the thing here. Bring value, serve with love. So when people cold message me, and I'm going to use the one we all know for example, if I get a cold message, it's like, hey girl, you're so pretty. You should totally be a 90-day product tester for me. And I'm like, I know how that works. I already was with that company, girl. No, I don't want to be, right? That's my thought process, but that's not what I'm going to say back to her. Because at the end of the day, when I take a step back, I know that when I was with that company, I was broke. I was spending money constantly to maintain a rank that I wasn't hitting. I was filling charts, working my booty off, sending those cold messages, and I wasn't happy. I remember my last 2 months in that business, I was running for a bonus that I got literally maybe even half the way there. I say this close because it felt like that, but I was nowhere near close. And they took away the opportunity, and then the next month they came back out. And I was like, you know what? It's mine. I'm doing it. I worked so hard that month, guys, trying to run for that bonus in the pretty girl company that I literally, kid you not, stopped going to my classes at college. There was an imprint in my bed at college of my body because I sat on the phone and cold messaged all day. I kid you not. You want to talk about making it work. I was ready to not go to classes that I spent tuition on. And it just wasn't happening. And so I take that into account when people cold message me and I say, you know what? I know where I was when I was in her position. I'm not going to be mean to her. I'm not going to be rude. I'm going to use this as a way to share something with somebody that I don't have to reach out to them first. And this is my favorite because every once in a while I get a cold message from someone and I respond in the way I'm going to tell you. And I remember last time I did this girl was like, haha, I didn't ask. And I was like, you did. But it happens. So I just want to remind you that regardless of how the people respond to you when you respond back to their cold message has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them, right? So when someone cold messages me, I typically like to flip it. So for instance, someone will say, hey, you're so pretty. Will you be my 90-day product tester? Blah, blah, blah. what I'm going to respond with is I always refer to them as name because I'm a human and I like to be called Christina or Stina, right? I don't want to be hey girl when I don't know you. So I reply and I say, hey, so-and-so, thank you so much for thinking about me and reaching out. I was actually partnered with that same company. In my instance, if you weren't, obviously changed up for you, but I say, thank you so much for reaching out to me. I was actually partnered with, insert name of the company, because I know right off the bat where you're at. I was actually partnered with them as my first company ever. I'm actually currently partnered with an all-natural premium grade nutrition company, and some of the reasons I love it are, English teacher, and then list out why. We never send a cold message. We never have to, we don't pay for our products. There's no monthly fees ever. I add in like 3 little top bullet points. I always touch on not cold messaging because they're cold messaging me. I touch on the fact that we have no forced auto shipments. And I touch on the fact that we have no monthly fees ever. And I say, thank you so much, blah, 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 everything I just said. And then I end it off with, I wish you so much luck in your business. And I put a heart. That's it. That's what I say. Short, sweet, to the point. No, thank you, but thank you. I appreciate you reaching out to me, but these are the reasons why I'm going to decline. And guess what? 9 times out of 10, I guarantee you they're going to be like, wait, what company are you with? Why? Because I was with that company and I had no idea that there was any other companies out there. Like 19-year-old me was like, yay, reps. Like that was me. And then I came here and I was like, got to pick my jaw up off the ground because damn, we got a good compensation plan. Dang, we got some perks. Damn, we got some good mentorship. Scream it from the rooftops. Do not be afraid to respond back to their cold message with a flip because guess what? You didn't cold message them. Now it's your time to shine and say, oh, really? No, thank you. We have this, this, and this. Now, without getting into someone else's inbox, you've just showed another hustler how to hustle and get it done. And show them that they don't have to do everything that they're doing to be successful. So that's how I would go about responding to a cold message. In another instance, if I have somebody from like this is the type of cold message I get all the time, especially because I have really long hair. It's pretty poppin', not gonna lie, collagen peptides, but I do use the, vegan friendly hair care line that we all see on social. And to be completely honest, I don't really get cold messaged by a lot of those girls because I have made them a lot of my friends and a lot of them are my customers. Creating relationships. However, there is every once in a while that I get somebody who's, fresh into the industry or, a couple months into their business with that company and they'll reach out to me and they'll start it off genuinely. They'll reply to my story and then they'll say, oh my God, I love your hair. Like, have you ever thought about using? And I'm like, girl, I basically promote that stuff too. It's all over my Instagram. I share my hair like, oh, but it's my collagen peptides that make it grow, right? Mm-hmm. So share what you love, what's genuine, talk to them as a human, and guess what? If they're meant to be with you in this business, whether it be a customer or promoter, it will happen. Do not rush it. Don't worry about the how. Don't worry about, oh my God, am I cold messaging her? Because you're not. At the end of the day, if you are not getting in your phone and saying, I'm going to turn the timer on and send this exact same message to people I don't know and never say anything else to them again, that is a cold message. But sharing what you have your hands on and genuinely talking to them in a dialogue, that's what we want you to do. We want you to talk about what you have your hands on. We want you to get on live video and be your crazy ass self and share who you are because that's going to bring the people in who are meant to be here with you. Whether they make a post or they ask you, do not be afraid to be the person to serve them what we have, guys. We're basically handing them like a bad bitch clan. Like, come on. We are amazing here. This team is amazing. The trainings we have are amazing. Like, what we have our hands on is too good not to be shared. So next time you kind of are questioning yourself on like, I don't know how to respond to this, or oh my God, I'm overthinking it. Like, oh, I don't know what to say. Don't overthink it. Remember this training and remember me saying this right now. Be yourself. If you are yourself and you talk to someone like normal and you're not worried about, oh my God, I need the sale or I need this business, like that conversation, you're doing exactly what you need to do. You can't create relationships or build a business without talking about it. And again, you're doing yourself such a huge disservice if you are holding yourself back from sharing because you're afraid of being labeled as cold messaging. Like, yeah, we don't do it. We know we don't do it. So don't be afraid to share what you have your hands on, okay? So I am going to get this post or this video up onto my YouTube tonight, and then I will post it to our team pages. Real quick before I hop off here, because girl is sweating. Anyone have any questions? Pop them down below. If not, yeah, girl, feel that confidence. Oh, I love it. All right, I guess that we will end it on that. So let's go out there. Let's end this month strong. We still got a lot of time left, guys. I tell my girls, at this point in the month, like, I'm getting ready to go back to school, move, and hit 80K. My team's got it. So let's go. Let's have an amazing week. It is Monday. Let's kick off the rest of this week with some fire and getting over ourselves and getting over our insecurities and getting over whatever you need to get over, because we are some bad bitches, okay? Okay. I will see you guys later. Have a great night, and let's go kick some booty.